Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. It's Christine, and today we're gonna make some delicious cauliflower soup. So I don't know about you, but I can eat soup all year round, but it's especially good right now because it's so cold outside and it's in the winter and it just tastes even better. So we're gonna use our Instant Pot today. Don't worry if you don't have an Instant Pot, you can still make the soup on the stove in a regular pot. It just takes a little bit longer. But if you are thinking about buying one, this is a great investment. I got this as a gift last Christmas from one of my clients and I just love it. I use it all the time. I make all kinds of stuff in it and it's super fast and everything always comes out really delicious because that high pressure just cooks all that flavor together. So yeah, this soup is amazing. But on the stove, you can still make it on the stove. No problem, just gonna take a little bit longer. So let's get to it. Okay, the first ingredient that we're going to use in this soup is obviously the cauliflower. So we want to remove this big core, and this is so easy. You're just going to kind of run your knife in there. I'm just using, this is not even a really good knife. Just break it up. I'm just going to try to get right in there, turn it a little bit, just dig in there. And you can see it kind of loosens up. So there I've got half of it broken up already. And then I'm going to get the rest of this core out. Really easy. Now for this recipe, there's very minimal chopping. Basically, you just kind of dump everything in this pot. It's so cool. I mean, what could be easier? I actually made this the other night when I was so tired, and it was great because it didn't take very long, and then I had something really delicious. Okay, so I'm just gonna put the chunks in this big. I mean, this is pretty big. You can cut them up smaller if you want, but you don't need to. Just dump them in, and from this point, you know, you really don't have to cut with a knife. You can kind of break it and throw it in, break it off, throw it in there. If you want to be neater, like this one's a little bit big, cut that in half, throw that in, break that off. It's kind of satisfying to do this. So pick them all up. Okay. All right, in the pot. All right, the next ingredient is, of course, garlic cloves, right? So I think the recipe that I have down in the description says four cloves of garlic. I have 5 here, so, you know, it's one of those things that you can kind of play around with if you want more or less, whatever. So I'm just gonna smash the garlic, just get that coating off. And the cool thing is that you don't even have to chop this up. We're gonna be chopping some garlic for the topping that we're gonna make while this is cooking, but for the soup, you just throw it in there. Even if you're cooking it on the pot, you're just gonna throw it in there. No chopping. I love that. Just cut the ends off. When you smash it, it comes apart. I hate chopping garlic. I love the flavor of chopping garlic, but it just, these little skins get caught on my hands and drive me crazy. But anyway. And, okay. Should have a timer and see how long this takes because it's very quick. You know, I just got done cooking for Thanksgiving, and that is very labor intensive, but this, I love this. Okay, so that's in the pot. Next thing we need is 2 cans of cannellini beans. So these are white beans. If you don't have cannellini, any white bean will work. This is gonna put a lot of great protein into our soup. So this is a complete meal. You're gonna get protein, vegetable, vitamins, fiber, everything you need. So I took the cannellini beans and drained them and rinsed them with water just to get that starchy liquid off of there. And now I'm just gonna dump them in. Going right in there. Okay. And next we're going to add 1 cup of raw cashews. So you don't want it to get salted, you want just plain, no salt, raw cashews. Okay, so we're gonna do 1 cup. And And this is gonna add a lot of creaminess and more protein. So more protein going in there. Okay, the next thing we're gonna add is 4 cups of water. Now, if you're cooking this on the stove on a regular soup pot, you're probably gonna need double the amount of water. So, but you can play around with it. You can kind of tell, because in the Instant Pot, you don't really lose any water. It just kind of gets all condensed together. So you don't want to put as much. So 4 cups. I have vegetable broth in the recipe. I'm going to use what I love. I think this is so much better. It's better than bouillon vegetable concentrate. So this, you can find this in the grocery store. They have, you know, the chicken and the beef and all that, but they have vegetable. Or you can just use regular vegetable stock. That's gonna work just fine. But I'm gonna use I'm gonna use 2 tablespoons of this vegetable bouillon. There's 1. It's not like perfectly measured. My hands are clean. Okay, I'm getting to the end of this jar. So, the last of it there. This just has really good flavor. If you ever make pinto beans, you should use this, some of this in your pinto beans. It's delicious. All right. Okay, next we're gonna add some salt, and I like using the pink Himalayan sea salt, but you could use any kind of salt for this. So this is really just to taste, so I'm just gonna put maybe 2 teaspoons. You can always add more after. Can't take it out, so it's better to have less than too much. And then we're going to add some black pepper. Again, this is all to taste, so I'm just gonna use my hand. Just about that much goes in. Okay, now we're gonna add some nutritional yeast. If you've never cooked with this before, this is wonderful. It gives your food kind of a cheesy flavor, not super strong, but just a slight cheesy flavor. And you're gonna add a lot of B vitamins in there. So lots of good nutrition in this. So again, I'm not gonna really measure. You wanna try to do at least 3 tablespoons. So there's 1, 2, 3, that's probably way more. All right. And the cool thing with the Instant Pot is you don't even have to mix this together. This is it. So we're gonna end this with a couple sprigs, and this is important because it's gonna give a lot of good flavor. So make sure you don't leave this out. We're just gonna put like 2 sprigs of rosemary, and you don't have to chop it, just lay it in there. And I love thyme. Fresh thyme has just such a great flavor, so I'm gonna put a bunch of it in there. I might just put this whole thing. Okay, we're gonna put this whole bundle of thyme in there just to give it some wonderful flavor. Okay, and then, okay, so the last thing we're gonna add in here is just a little bit of lemon juice, but I wanna zest this lemon first because we're gonna use the lemon zest to sprinkle on top of our soup at the end. And it's really hard to zest a lemon after you cut it, so we're gonna zest it real quick. So I washed it really good, and I'm just using a microplane. Just kind of going over, tapping. Smells so good. Lemon zest adds so much great flavor. You can use it in anything. I like to use it in my spaghetti sauce, which is kind of a secret ingredient that takes it up a notch. So, got all zested and all that good stuff. A little bit more. All right, get that out. And I'm just gonna scoop that up so that we can use it later to put on top of our soup. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut this in half. Just roll it a little bit so the juice will come out. And I'm gonna squeeze it like this just to catch any seeds. I think I'm gonna use just a half a lemon, and we can add a little bit more to brighten it up after it's cooked. Okay guys, so putting the lid on, makes that cute little noise. So now you're just gonna set it to pressure cook for 7 minutes, okay? And don't make the mistake I did one time. I thought this was the minute. So I set that and I ruined something that I was cooking. But anyway, so you hear it beeping. So that's just letting you know that it's going to start heating up. And we're gonna check the top, make sure it's off of the vent setting. And it is, so it's all good to go. So 7 minutes. While our Instant Pot is cooking, we're gonna make some toasted garlic for the top of the soup. So we're gonna top it with toasted garlic, a little bit of lemon zest, and some chopped parsley, red pepper flakes. All right, so I'm heating up a pan and I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil. So we're gonna put just a little bit of olive oil in there. Okay, and I chopped up almost a whole head of garlic. So you can do whatever you like. Chopped it up pretty fine. You know, again, this is preference. You could chop up bigger chunks or smaller, whatever you like. And I'm just gonna put that in here. Super easy. Okay, and you know, this is always optional. You don't have to do this step. This soup tastes great without it. It just is something a little extra to take it over the top, so. Okay, so we just want these to get golden brown and just a little crispy so they're not raw. Doesn't take too long. So you want to kind of spread them out so it's not in a pile. I don't know if you guys can see that. Starting. Oh. Is letting off a wonderful fragrance. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. It's starting to get a little toasty. You just want to move it around. You don't want it to burn. That changes the whole flavor. Take that out of the pan. Just transfer it in here. God, it smells so good. Okay. Get that all. Okay, and I'm just gonna try to pour some of that olive oil because it has a lot of good flavor. So we're just gonna pour that in there. And we have it. Should look something kind of like that. All right, 7 minutes is up and I'm just manually releasing the pressure from the Instant Pot, which is kind of fun. And then we'll be able to open it up. Pressure's been released. The little white button has popped down, which means it's safe to open. So I'm gonna pull the lid off. Woo! Oh wow, okay. So we're gonna fish out our thyme. Just gonna get a pair of tongs because it's real hot. So we're gonna fish out the thyme branches because we don't want to blend that up. And the rosemary. Take that out. Okay, so now I'm going to use an immersion blender. And if you don't have an immersion blender, you can also use a standing mixer or a food processor. You just have to do it in sections. So There it is. Before we blend it, we're gonna blend it all up with the immersion blender. It's gonna get really creamy. Okay, so I've got my immersion blender. I'm gonna put it in there first before I turn it on and start it up. This is it after I've been blending it for just a few minutes. Super creamy, look at that. And I don't mind if there's a few little chunks of cauliflower in there, but you could blend it longer and get it even smoother. So now we're gonna go finish it off. Okay guys, so I just ladled some of this into my bowl and I'm gonna put the toppings on. So it looks just delicious, really creamy. Okay, so I'm gonna start with a little bit of our garlic. So I don't want like a ton of it. It's pretty strong, but it's just toasty. Sprinkle that on top. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. And some lemon zest. Just a little bit of that. Sprinkled on top. Okay, I like red pepper flakes. If you don't like spicy, you can leave it out. So I'm just gonna sprinkle some of these on top. And we're gonna finish with just some parsley. So I chopped it up and sprinkle that around. And take a look at that. How beautiful, colorful, and fabulous. Ooh, it's gonna spill. Beautiful, fabulous, delicious. And now for the best part. So we're gonna taste it. Hey everybody, so I didn't record the last part of this video. I thought I recorded it, but when I went to edit the video was gone. The end where I'm trying the soup and letting you know how it was. Kind of an important section. Anyways, I am so sorry, but let me tell you that soup was delicious and I hope you can take my word for it and try out the recipe and see for yourself because it's really, really yummy. And I'm sorry for the end of this video. I am now in my pajamas and there was no way I was gonna try to recreate that ending. So I hope you forgive me and please like and subscribe and I will get better at doing these videos, I promise. All right, thank you so much for watching.